First up, we step into the past. Originally designed in the Bauhaus tradition by Romanian expatriate Haralamb Georgescu, this current house has been totally rebuilt and renovated by architect Krueger. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
You're the brains behind this?
Yes, somewhat so. I was the architect that came in after the original architect that made the masterpiece. That was the mid-century architect, Haralamb Georgescu.
I mean, that's a big responsibility to take over someone else's work. I mean, does
Yeah.
that kind of affect you when you're kind of remodeling?
Absolutely. You're always thinking about exactly how to restore the place properly, what to touch, what not to touch, how to update a house to today's standards while keeping with the same design aesthetic. So it's always that thing that's in the back of your mind that for us it was,
Don't stuff this up.
Don't mess this up, and what would Georgescu, the original architect, do?
This is the original house here, right? And then behind us is a studio, or?
This is a guest house space behind us. So yeah, so this was...
But that's new.
That is new, yeah. Originally here there was an agricultural shed that predated this house. It was probably the turn of the century.
Oh, wow.
It was located about here. One of the things that we decided to do was keep the same footprint proportions of that house, but elevate it higher and then pull back so that we created this retaining walls for more of a turnaround driveway space.
So the original house was built when?
1968.
Okay, great. The year I was born.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So that's a special house then for you as well.
Absolutely. Well, can we get inside and take the tour?
Absolutely, let's do it.
Let's do it. Oh, wow. Okay, I can see what we're doing here. This is really a 60s house.
It is. It's very much so. And sometimes people come inside of here and think of it more as a time capsule. And that's the way that we like to see it, while at the same time updating it to today's aesthetics and standards.
So what did you do inside here that's been changed?
What's been changed in here are a few things. We changed up, or should I say restored, the mahogany paneling and book shelving to where it was originally in the plans. What we also did...
Oh, really? So you actually went back to the plans and put things back?
We found the set of plans actually right in the storage space right below us here, which was a great thing. I think it really gave us direction on what the original house was and perhaps what it might want to be.
Was it still multi-level like it is now?
It was multi-leveled here, so the stairs are original, the loft area. The bones of the building are exactly how it originally was. We did not want to touch the original aesthetic of the house.
So you changed all the floors, right?
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, what were the original ones?
The original ones, we had a combination of some tile as well as carpeting.
Ugly?
And it was ugly.
So the original carpet was purple, right?
Yes.
Which is making a comeback now.
Yeah.
The original house was it looked great, but it was in great condition, obviously. It had been lived in for quite a while by the same people, and they were an elderly couple, so the decor sort of showed that, you know. So when we first got in there, lots of purple carpets, lots of furnishings, and obviously all of their bits and bobs that didn't quite go, you know.
Well, don't go away. After the break, we're going to continue our tour of this magnificent home. It's up next. Welcome back. Well, here we are at this amazing modern design. Let's continue our tour.
We have the main lower level here. We have the study level, which is also the main entry level, and then the upper level, the loft and bedroom level.
Do you know what? I love modern architecture and new architecture, but there's something about coming into a home like this with just so much history that you kind of go into a trance and imagining who lived here, who designed it, what were they thinking. It's so different from today.
Yes, yes. And we've heard that a lot from people that have came in here that, especially that grew up during the era that this house was built, and they just said this makes me feel and think a lot about my childhood.
Well, this house was actually being built while I was being born.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm old. So this house is old. But it looks kind of new. In fact, you can almost build this exact floor plan in a modern house today.
You absolutely could, and that's where there were so many lessons for me as an architect, that going off of a master like Georgescu, just seeing how spaces are proportioned and how they feel, the volumes. It's just, it has a certain feel that is much more to a human scale that I think a lot of times gets lost in more recent architecture. Things are a bit out of proportion at times. This space just feels right.
How cool is the window which goes through to the kitchen so you can kind of pass out the food?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the pass-through window that's here from the kitchen to the dining space. The original cabinetry, this was actually remade exactly to the specifications. The original ones, we actually replaced it. The only thing that's different to here is that there was a Formica countertop that we replaced with the Caesar stone countertop from
Fantastic,
to out.
because this is indestructible.
Yes.
Yeah. So the kitchen, you renovated that, right?
Yes, we did. So we renovated the kitchen space. Originally, it was a different shape and configuration. This was linoleum, checkered, dated floors, paneling inside, Formica countertop. It was part of the original.
Okay.
However, it didn't quite seem like it was part of the rest of the house, and maybe, you never know, at that time people could have been running out of money and they, you know, anything could have happened, but it was very dated, and so we decided that we needed to definitely spruce it up and update everything.
The back of the home opens up to a dining terrace which steps down to a yard-sized deck. It includes a pool, spa and cupboard lounge, along with a surprising touch of some colour on its exterior wall. Okay, I can see what you see now by the punch of colour, by the yellow out here.
And the nice thing is, during the evening, there's 2 skylights to each side of that fireplace. So during the evening, when the lights are on, it gives this nice glow that just illuminates that yellow to give a nice shine to it.
The deck was all replaced because it was in such bad condition, and we extended it and added a few bits and bobs to the deck. The actual cantilevered decks were basically so rotted that we had to replace all of those throughout the house. So quite an extensive remodel.
Oh, okay, this is cute. This is great. Fireplace.
Yes.
Which looks fantastic as well.
Yes. So fire pit area. So this is a seating area outside where we have the guest house, and one of the ideas with this was to be able to have a space that the owners, they could have their parents or guests be able to stay here, but it still has a connection to the house.
So, yeah. Love the sculpture here as well. That's a did you pop that in?
We did, and actually that is done by the son of the original architect.
Oh
he is an artist himself, so, and he in fact remembers when this house was being built, his father taking him to this site. So there's a generational connection.
And that was put in with you guys, right?
That was put in with us.
What
yes.
a great signature.
Yes, yes.
To add to the whole project.
Well, that's what we thought was the most important thing, is that making sure we had this generational connection of, you know, you have the father, and then you have his son here with the sculpture, and then of course we have, you know, the new modern guest house.
I feel sorry for anybody who wants to tear this down because they've got no chance.
Right.
You've been amazing.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
And let's do something again soon.
Absolutely.